Most businesses ignore the highest intent traffic online. On Google, searching for cat toys is just browsing. But in ChatGPT, users ask, "Can you recommend popular brands for high-speed cat toys?" The difference? They are ready to buy. To get this customer, the goal is to rank in ChatGPT, optimizing content so the AI selects your brand as the answer. To do this with precision, the data inside Semrush is essential. Now, the link to Semrush is in the description. It's my affiliate link, which helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. So if you find this video helpful and decide to give Semrush a try, I would appreciate if you use my link. Now, let's get into it. Why you must care. These detailed prompts tell us something important. Users are not just looking for information, they're looking for a solution. This makes them much more valuable than a typical searcher. But here's the best part. This isn't a either-or choice between AI and Google. First, the Semrush AI Visibility Index indicates a significant overlap between brands mentioned by ChatGPT and those in Google's AI mode. When digging deeper using the AI Visibility Toolkit combined with the Organic Research tool, the connection is undeniable. 85% of pages cited by AI also rank in Google. So, optimizing for ChatGPT actually improves Google ranking at the same time. It even helps with other AI tools like Claude, Perplexity, and Gemini. Now, before we jump into the first step, I want to say a huge thank you to Semrush for sponsoring today's video. Step 1. The indexing problem. Ranking is impossible if the AI doesn't know the site exists. The common mistake is assuming that being on Google is enough, but it isn't. ChatGPT uses Bing to run live web searches. If the site isn't indexed in Bing, it decreases the chance of showing up in ChatGPT responses. The fix is simple. Bing Webmaster Tools. First, the goal is to submit the XML sitemap so Bing can find the pages. Second, check the Site Explorer for 404 errors. These errors prevent indexing, effectively making the content invisible to the AI. This applies to Google as well since ChatGPT uses it for retrieval. Verified visibility in Google Search Console is required. First, submit the sitemap to GSC to ensure Google is aware of all current URLs. Second, open the Pages report and check the Why Pages Aren't Indexed section. This reveals exactly which pages are blocked and why. Third, once issues are resolved, click Validate Fix or Request Indexing to signal that the content is ready for the AI to read. Step 2. Write content for AI extraction. Once the AI finds the site, it needs to extract the answer. This requires a specific structure. Headings. Use descriptive headings that match user questions, for example, how to build backlinks, rather than abstract titles. Paragraphs. Keep them short, one idea per paragraph. Formatting. Use bullet points and list constantly, as ChatGPT prefers this format. The direct answer rule. Now, beyond structure, the writing style matters. If a headline asks a question like, "What is SEO?" the very first sentence under it should answer it immediately. No fluff, just a direct definition like SEO is a practice of blah, blah, blah. This mirrors how the AI wants to present the answer. The strategy is to also use specific data. For example, generated 22% more leads because concrete examples are easier for the AI to quote. Finding the content gaps. To know exactly which questions to answer, use the Narrative Drivers report in the Semrush AI Visibility Toolkit. By selecting ChatGPT and filtering for not present, the report highlights the exact questions the audience is asking that the brand doesn't appear for yet. This identifies the content gaps to fill immediately. Step 3. Build authority with cited sources. Finally, the AI needs to trust the brand. ChatGPT decides who to mention based on authority signals. It looks for information on websites it already trusts. If those trusted websites talk about a brand, the AI is more likely to talk about it too. Now, this changes the backlink strategy. It's not just about getting a link from any website. The goal is to get mentions from the specific sources ChatGPT uses for the industry. For example, in the cookware niche, ChatGPT might rely heavily on Good Housekeeping or The Spruce Eats. A mention on those specific sites is worth far more than a mention on a random blog. How to find these sources? Now, instead of guessing, use the Cited Sources report in Semrush. This generates a list of the top websites ChatGPT cites for a specific topic. These become the outreach targets. When ChatGPT sees a trusted source referencing a brand, it signals that the brand is relevant enough to be cited in its own responses. How to measure your ChatGPT SEO performance. The final piece is tracking results. You need to know if your efforts are actually working. You can test this manually. Enter queries your target audience would ask into ChatGPT and look at the response. Note whether the AI cites your brand, which specific pages it links to, and how prominently your content appears compared to your competitors. Now, if you do this manually, you should create a spreadsheet. Log the query, the date, whether you were cited, and which competitors showed up. Repeat this over time to see trends. However, manual tracking is slow. To scale this, you can use the Brand Performance Report in the Semrush AI Visibility Toolkit. It tracks two critical metrics: share of voice, how often the brand appears compared to competitors, and sentiment score, how the brand is being portrayed. This distinction is key. A high share of voice with a low sentiment score means the AI is talking about the brand, but in a negative context. The perception report can then pinpoint why. For example, maybe the AI thinks shipping is too slow, allowing for specific improvements. All right, so ranking in ChatGPT isn't magic. It comes down to 3 clear steps. First, technical visibility. If you're not indexed in Bing and Google, you are basically invisible. Second, structure. You must write direct answers that robots can extract. And third, authority. You need mentions from the specific sources that the AI already trusts. If you get these 3 right, you stop chasing algorithms and you start showing up where your most valuable customers are looking. All right, so this is the breakdown. In the end, the best way to see these gaps for your own business is to simply try Semrush yourself. If you found this guide helpful and are planning to give Semrush a try, please use my link in the description to support the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.